There's my thing. There's the machine. Guess I can put this down. See, this is where we're having our level 2 done. Alright, so you guys are probably going, Janet, it's not, sorry, it's not Sunday, so it's not time for your, 9-week vlog. But from the intro you can tell this is a doctor's visit. This was not, not a planned visit. Let me bring you guys, up to speed on everything. We got some snow. It's wet snow, so I had to go outside and shovel a little bit. Now, our house, we live in the main house. We're the one, we have the mortgage and everything like that. But on the property, we have an in-law apartment, and my husband's parents live there. Which, if anybody ever asks me, do you think it's a good idea? Absolutely not. Do not do it. It is the worst. If you want to save your marriage and keep your marriage how it is, do not let your in-laws live with you. Biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. Because they have their own, it's a detached in-law apartment, meaning they have all their own things. And to give you guys a perspective of kind of the property value, we pay $1,100 a month for a mortgage, and we have a 3-bedroom, 2-story, Victorian. Now, rent, the average rent here in my town for a 1-bedroom duplex type of style, meaning you don't have your own space, you have people above you and like that, is $600 a month. They only pay $400 a month, which is extremely cheap, considering next to my parents, because they live in the same town as us. You have your own bedroom, but you share a kitchen, a living room, and I believe a bathroom, and it's $100 a week. So it's the same price. But anyway, so they live here, but the agreement was, originally when my husband was working second shift, was that they would watch the kids while we were working, which was okay. Now, as many of you guys know, my husband's now third shift, so they don't watch the kids at all. So the agreement then was, that they did all the snow blowing and things like that, because obviously the two of us working separate shifts, we can't go outside and, shovel when there's a storm. Mowing the grass is going to be hard because, you work separate shifts, you can't, and we live on a busy road, so it's not like you say, oh, well, the kids can play outside while you mow the grass. It's not comfortable with that. So that was the agreement. So, anyways, so they just shoveled their little area to get out so that way they could, run and do something. Not a huge deal. A little bit of a deal, but not really. Then they came back and they shoveled the driveway. But that was it. They didn't shovel the paths and the sidewalks. So, and I don't drive. I can't drive. I have syncope. I pass out for no explainable reason. I've had it for 13 years, so I cannot drive. But I now work in the same town that I live. So it's not, I don't live that far away. I mean, don't work that far away. But because of the storm, I had to go, I didn't have to go in early, I just had to go in a little bit early. Sorry. So, my mother-in-law sent me a text saying, oh, what time do you need to go to work? And so I texted her back and put, I need to be in for 1. Now, it's 12:30. They're not back yet. They're out doing whatever. And they had the tendency, before Sandy hit, they were shopping at places that were trying to close. So they have a tendency to, in bad weather, be one of those idiots that go out and do stuff. Whereas, I've always been one to, my parents were always one of, well, if there's no school, you stay home. The road, there's nothing that important except for if, you had a doctor's appointment that you couldn't reschedule. So, anyways, to make a long story short, they were not here in time to bring me to work. So I, woke up my husband. I said, "You need to drive me to work." And, he was giving me a hard time, and I'm like, we need to go. I, got the kids' shoes on, got their coats on. And I said, all right, let's go. And, of course, I run upstairs, and he's still, standing there with his shirt, his shoes off, going, I'm like, it had been 15 minutes. So I'm like, you know what, screw this. I gave the kids a kiss goodbye, said, Mommy loves you, and I walked out the door, and I started to walk to work. It's an hour walk. Well, it's 3 miles. Well, actually 3.5 miles. And I can do it. I can do it in about 50 minutes. Not pregnant and not in snow. I got about halfway and I was starting to have really bad cramps. And I figured that they would start to slow down once I got to work. Like halfway, I got to that point of I am so exhausted. Any creepy person, even if they said, "Hey, do you need a ride?" I would take them up on it. But I got I would say probably I only had a tenth of the trip left. Not even a mile left. And one of my coworkers saw me. Now, he had no idea that I was pregnant. He sees me, honks his horn, he's waving get your butt over here, I'm bringing you in. So he brought me in, and, of course I'm fuming, but the pain the cramps were really bad, to where I was sitting down, and I was bawling my eyes out, and, one of my other coworkers asked me, he said, "Are you okay?" Now, keep in mind, only one coworker. I worked with 3 guys, only one knew I was pregnant. Well, I told him what had happened, and I said I was having really bad cramps, and he said, you should probably call your doctor. And I did, I called them, because the cramps are normal. But these cramps were worse than, they were like the cramps that I had after my D&C. Like that next day where where you're in so much pain. I couldn't stand up straight. So I called the doctor, and they said, if, come in right away, keep in mind, if you are having a miscarriage, since you are having the really severe cramps, we're going to you're going to go naturally. This was over the phone, and I'm like, I know, I kind of prepared for that. So we got there, where my husband, I called him, I told him, basically, hey, dummy, come pick me up, because I was still so pissed with him. So we get there, get to the doctor's office, and I said, I don't want you coming in with me. I was so upset with my husband. Because I always feel that he puts his parents before his family. And he does. He puts his parents before his family. I love my parents, but I always put my family before my parents. So anyway, it was my regular doctor, and she said, you know, what's going on? And I said, I'm having severe cramps. She said, did anything bring these on? She's like sex or vigorous activity. I said, I walked to work. She's like, you did what? I said, I walked to work. She's like, how far is that? I said, about 3.5 miles. And she said, well, let's do the ultrasound. So we did the ultrasound, and, you know, got some pictures. Baby was doing really good. There was a little bit of, there's no bleeding between the placenta and the placenta and my uterus, and that it's a little bit over here. She said that can be a million different things, but not where the baby's at risk. And so she said, let's talk about you walking. And I said, okay. But about it, that's when she said, Janet, no. Like she said, she would rather write me out of work than have me do that again. So baby's okay. The heart rate was 179. We saw her, because we're calling it a her, because that was actually advice from the high-risk doctor that had said, you know, give the baby a gender while you're going through all this, so that way it has an identity besides just a make it through little baby. You know, he said give it a gender. So we're saying it's a girl, and he agreed. He actually is the one that said it's a girl because of the heart rate. That's his prediction, that it's a girl, 100% girl. Even though, like he said, that's just based on the heart rate. He said that's not based, you know, it's not 100% it's a girl. He said, but by the heart rate, it's 100% girl in his mind. He said, you know, when we get to 20 weeks, you know, it could be a boy that just has a very fast heart rate. But anyway, so we're doing good. She allowed me to go back to work and finish up what I needed to, and then I was sent home to rest. So I'm okay. And before I get any comments of Janet, that was stupid to walk, it was hormones. And my husband, I'm still very pissed off with him, but he's at work. So, but I just wanted to give you guys an update. So I'll talk to you guys hopefully on Sunday, and there's nothing else that comes up. So talk to you guys later. Bye.